Picture this. You have exactly the words that the women of this world need to hear right now. You have changed thousands of lives with your message, and all these women want is to have the opportunity to share your message with their friends so that their friends' lives may also be changed by your message. But there are evil people in this world, people who think that to uplift a woman is to make things worse for men, or any other nonsense that they might think. People who do not want to see women's lives get better. They have sent you evil messages, messages that terrify you, that you could not repeat on your platform, your home, where you have connected with your community. And so what did you do? You went silent. You deleted your videos. You switched your channel to a more benign topic, one still intended for the girls, one still intended to spread your message, but in a very encoded way, one where, you probably might not get it unless you watched those earlier videos that no longer exist. This is the situation that Manifestelle has been in for years. I and many other people love her videos. I want to spread the message. I have often cited her on my channel. And she has finally told us, no, please don't cite me. It has not been safe for me. My life has been threatened. And I'm glad I hear this now. I have spent a few years now creating this channel, often mentioning her, often citing her. I have no intention of putting her in danger, and neither do any of her many followers who love her and appreciate her message. I wish it didn't have to be this way. We live in this world of copyright, right? So you have a message and you need it not to be stolen, because then you wouldn't make money off of it if someone else claimed it as yours. But hers is a situation where it is not safe for her name to be on her message. And so she's done what YouTube has offered to her as a solution, which is to have a paid channel membership. And she just started it, and she just put a few of her old videos that people really love on her paid membership. Not as many as we would like. But is this really the solution? Her name is still on her message. Perhaps the solution is for her to let us know that she's not gonna fight us, in the copyright courts if we take her message, change it just enough so, you're not sure if it came from Manifestelle, and share it with everyone, because this message is so important. It has changed lives. It has most likely saved lives. It should not go silent. There is another creator on YouTube that I have also valued the message of, and someone I've learned a lot from. She is one who is very, very quick to sue anyone who steals her message, and it's too bad. I have enjoyed her work. I can't share her teachings on this channel because I am aware that she has sued many people for copying her, and it's really a shame because, as time has gone on, she's only gone down in popularity, and the algorithm has not been showing her message to people, and she, for some reason, values this ownership of her message more than she values helping other women. Well, Manifestelle, I know that you deserve credit for your work. I understand the idea of your message being so valuable that it is worth paying money for. But if there were any way for you to secretly let us know, yes, please spread the word. I need this spread. I need people to know, but I need to be safe. Please let us know. It has changed my life for the better. I have a video that explains how my first child, literally starved because I had poor boundaries, and I also thought that having a 2-income household was like a fine thing. And you know, my children will never have to go through that again, right? You can watch that video for more information. The other problem is that the reason why your life has been so threatened is because you have put at least most of your real name online, and certainly your real face. You call yourself Manifestelle. That's not your real name, and you also call yourself L. Ray. I don't think that's your real name. That doesn't sound like a real name to me. That sounds like perhaps your first and middle name, but then also perhaps your first name plus another name that isn't your real middle or last name, but would work as, you know, a sort of second name that could be a middle or a last name. That sounds so good as a persona for YouTube. I have not shown my face on this channel, and it has harmed my channel. The YouTube algorithm is very confused. They send a lot of viewers over who are Muslim, and that's totally fine. They're welcome to hear my message, but I'm not Muslim. I do have a whole video on this channel that explains that hijab is actually an option open to all women. But, you know, people don't tend to watch that. I mean, you've been in the same situation. You know, you can't explain every single video, like all the nuance of your message. You know, you used to repeat in your videos about the no nuance Nellies, you know, the people that expect all these little things to be explained for them every single time. And you can't do that. I understand. And you know, furthermore, you have not been able to repeat thoroughly enough in each video that these messages are not for men. It does not keep women safe for you to spread your message to men. You've said that. I know you've said that in videos, but people have not heard and they've not understood. And unfortunately, all of this has come to your harm. You have so many followers, and that's so good. Part of it is because you show your beautiful face, and as you've said on your channel, of course, all women are beautiful. So no matter how pretty you are by any sort of beauty standard, you know, you meet those beauty standards, and then on top of that, you are a woman, and you're so beautiful. And your face does draw more viewers to the channel. And for anyone who doesn't want to listen to a Muslim, you know, they will go to your channel because you don't look like a Muslim. I look like a Muslim to people. And thank you for watching all this way, by the way. My channel has not attained the success of Manifestelle or some other creators in my niche, and I don't intend to show my face talking about this message. I understand that this is a message that's very upsetting to people, and perhaps Manifestelle didn't understand this. You know, she doesn't explain her life in too much detail, but from what I grasp, she has a pretty big and pretty tight circle of female friends who are completely on her same page, completely believe the same thing she believed, and perhaps she didn't understand how radical her ideas were. I live in Seattle. I don't know hardly anyone who will point blank say that it is right to treat men differently than you treat women, which is exactly the message, much of what Manifestelle has boiled her message, much of what you can boil Manifestelle's message down to. She has said in an old video point blank, do not be friends with men, only be friends with women. And, you know, all by itself with no context, it sounds so offensive, so wrong. It is something I uphold to this very day. It is not something that I have ever been caught on. You know, I live in a city where not only are men free to be friends with women, but also there's a great variety of genders just besides men and women, right? No one has said to me, oh, I noticed that you used to be friends with a bunch of guys and now you're not friends with any guys anymore. What's going on? Or, hey, I noticed that now you only talk to me at parties and you never hang out with me one-on-one, but I know you're still hanging out with all these female friends of yours one-on-one. What's going on? Nobody's confronted me. Part of that is because Seattle is a non-confrontational city. It does make things easier. It makes a lot of things harder. But I know that I can't spread these videos to my personal friends. I can't even share them with my husband. Okay? These techniques that have afforded me a good life and a happy marriage, my husband would full on reject. Doesn't make any sense. I know that when I follow the rules of feminine energy better, he is happier with me. And yet it is something that he thinks is wrong and that he would think to reject. This is why we don't talk to them about this. We just do what works. We have a good life. We enjoy ourselves. We teach what we can to our children. But, you know, at least in the city of Seattle, like I have to tell my daughter, you know this, but don't talk to people about it. It upsets people. So you know, Manifestelle is someone whose face is very well known now. She has a second channel called Siren Theory, where she, you know, is exploring a new niche that's, you know, not just something that is this message that'll change the world, but is also relating to some other interests she hasn't been able to talk about on her first channel. But, you know, I guess she's not in a position probably where she could start a new channel that's anonymous because, you know, her voice and also perhaps even her pace of speaking is going to be very well recognized. But that would be an option for her too, is for her to have this, you know, more palatable channel that if a man watches it, no harm's going to come to her. But if they find this anonymous channel, well, they can't figure out who she is. No harm comes to her. Hopefully. And you know, what are her options? You know, this option of wearing niqab doesn't work. I mean, I could have done a lot more in my promotion of the channel, in editing my videos. But, you know, people are confused. The visual branding of my videos does not match what they expect to see in a video that talks about feminine energy and making sure women know all of their options so that they can live their best lives. I should probably consider some other ideas. I'm gonna go maybe link some other channels that have some other ideas. There's this new channel I just found called Disgruntled Town Person, and they have this awesome hood that covers their face. It's pretty clear that they just look like some sort of LARP character. They aren't, you know, wearing a headdress or a headscarf that looks like any particular religious group that they don't belong to, so people aren't going to be confused. You know, probably even wearing a LARP hood might attract people who are more on the left and who might need this message more, like me, for example. I would have never ever heard this message if it weren't for a friend of mine that didn't start me off with Manifestelle, started me off with some other YouTubers that are in the same niche, and I was able to find Manifestelle through them. But, you know, if it weren't for that friend that I rarely see, and I've mentioned her on this channel, I rarely see her, I would not have found Manifestelle. My life would not have changed like it has. I'm so lucky. I live in this city that should have a perfect life for me, you know. We supposedly like equality so much that it doesn't even matter which gender you present as, doesn't matter if your presentation matches the gender that you act like, doesn't matter which of the gender roles you pick and choose from. That's the message my city tells me and my friend group tells me. I've found it not to be true. I've found it to be true that Manifestelle's message, which sounds like traditional gender roles, and it's really, really not. It turns out that's what brings my success here in Seattle. And it's not what my friends have told me. It's not what my greater community has told me. And I understand that this is a message that has to be spoken about very quietly. There's a lot of people that wouldn't accept it, and they need to be told like the simpler things to be eased a little bit closer to it. They won't get all the way there, but you want to help them.